Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Mount Deurklink. In the last few episodes I made these indoor river rapids with the roto-drop combination, and the episode before it I made this powered coaster here. But while making this I left this little gap here that's still open. What I'm going to do in this episode is build an attraction here. And I think it will be nice to make one of these monster truck rides. Now, I don't really know what kind of ride this is based on, because I've never really seen anything like this in an amusement park. So yeah, I'll just try to make something nice with it. Now, I want to use this space here. The first thing I'm gonna do is remove this path that's here to this area, because what I don't want is really to circle every ride with paths. That's also something you will typically not see in real parks. So yeah, I will remove this path, but I will make a hard to see underground path that leads from this area to this area over here, just to prevent the guests from getting lost. So yeah, I think this path is not really necessary, and it will also give the park more of a more easy to follow layout. So basically here's just the center with paths branching out to the different areas, and with less connections in between those areas. Alright, I will start by removing the path, and then I will prepare some landscaping here so I can make a nice ride. Now, one thing that I do want to make this ride a little bit nicer is to have some nice path interaction. So I will make some, I will probably make this path go more in the middle here, and then the monster truck ride will pass over and under it several times. Just yeah, to give some nice interaction between the path and the ride, and to give the guests a nice view of it. What's important in making a car ride or a ride like this is that you make the landscape which they go through very interesting, because these rides are not very exciting on their own. So you should make sure that yeah, it passes by or through some interesting structures. It should have some interaction with paths and other stuff. Yeah, just anything to make it look like a fun ride to ride. I sometimes see people make these car rides just through a very bland landscape. Yeah, that would not make for a very exciting ride experience. So yeah, like I said, just try to make it look as interesting as possible. Now, this is not the track type that I will use in the end, but for now I'm just making the layout. I will make it look more exciting like later on. Now, yeah, for the track type that I will use in the end, it'll probably be the mini suspended coaster lowered into the ground, just so it looks like there's just a guide rail, except for some of these parts which will be raised above the ground. They will actually keep this track, but I will put some wooden coaster track under it, just to make it look more like a sturdy bridge. Alright, I think this will be the final track layout. So right from the start, the guests get pulled up this steep hill here. They briefly go into a tunnel. I will make the tunnel look nicer. Now it's just a big block here. Then after this brief section in the tunnel, there will be a steep drop downwards right under these two other parts of the track. There will be a quick little turnaround. Then here there will be a few drops into some foresty area. Then again here there will be a steep hill over the path here. And then it goes up a little hill here. Here are two tunnels under the path and another final tunnel under the path before it returns back to the station. So for sure there's enough interaction with the path here for it to look nice, I think. So what I'm going to do now is to do some landscaping just to make sure all the track will be on land, and for the higher up parts I will make some wooden coaster track under the track just to make it look a bit more sturdy. Alright, I think this is an interesting track layout for the monster truck ride. Now for this section, which is elevated above the ground, I kept these wooden support structures here, and I also kept the car ride track on top of it just to fill it out a bit more. And for the rest of the track where it's less steep, I also chose to keep the guide rail, which I made with mini suspended coaster track. So actually the cars will be following this guide rail here, but instead of being on a track they will be off-road, just to give it more of an actual monster truck experience. Now for this area I still have to do lots of landscaping. I'll put many trees and shrubs around it and snowy stuff. Yeah, just to make it look a little bit more natural. So this ground texture, I'm probably also going to play with it a bit, because there's now a lot of contrast between the snow and the dirt area. And I want that transition to be less sharp. I'll also play with the track colors a bit, just to get a nice combination here. Alright, I think this will be a nice moment to put another Patreon member in the spotlight. So I will just make a little area here for an entertainer to walk around. I will hide these paths later. But if I look through all these Patreon members, there's someone who's still missing. He's been a patron for a long time. So let's see. I think this will be a nice spot for a bandit. So this bandit's name will be Duckfoss. Typing is very difficult for me. Alright, Duckfoss. There we go. So yeah, thanks a lot Duckfoss for being a Patreon member. I really appreciate it. And I hope you'll stay with us for much longer to come. And I hope you enjoy your spot here in the park. I think this monster truck ride is really starting to shape up. I love this dense forest look with these high bridges in between. It makes it really look like a interesting part of the park. I think it will really become an eye catcher. Alright, I will now just continue doing landscaping here, and after that I will start working on the station and the queue of the ride. Okay, here's a fun trick you can use sometimes. So if you have these jumping fountains or jumping snowballs and you want them to put snowballs or water fountains over your tracks, you can simply just place some path pieces here, put the jumping fountains or jumping snowballs on them, and then just make the path invisible like this. So then you can no longer see the jumping fountains or jumping snowballs. Well, not the fountain itself, but their particle effects, so like the water or the snowballs, they will still stay. Maybe a little bit difficult to see, but you could still see some snowballs jumping around. So for this part of the track now, it will keep launching snowballs right over the track here. I think it is quite funny to watch. Alright, with most of the landscaping done here, it's now time to work on the station for the ride. Now, since this is all sort of in a wooded theme, I will also make a station that kind of looks like probably something like a log factory or something. But yeah, I definitely plan to use a lot of mine theme here. And yeah, it will be a simple station. I think it will look cool here. It's the simple queue as well, since there's not too much space here. Might lead the queue a bit besides this coaster here, just to give the guests a nice view of it. Yeah, here's the station. It's pretty simple. So after that, it goes up this steep hill here, through a tunnel, through the mountain. And here there's a steep drop down under itself, and under another bridge. And here it does turn around through this very foresty section. Then here there's a bit more of forest land, but here it actually goes off-road for a bit. And here finally there's this large turn. So another steep hill over the path here. So that gives some nice interaction. And yeah, here finally then there's a snowy section. So I also made the guide rail a bit lighter here. And I put lots of these snowballs, buried them a bit just to make it look like big heaps of snow. And yeah, I think it's nice to have a bit of a different section for the monster trucks to go through. And again here, there's also 3 tunnels which to go through, which go under the path. So for sure the guests who are heading towards the river rapids using this path, they will get some nice interaction with this ride. And I'm sure lots of these guests will end up heading towards these monster trucks. Now I also put a little monster truck on display here. I think that's always a nice touch to have for your rides. And I also kind of decorated the queue here. I used these New York roof pieces as path, which I always like to do. And I put a mix of these wooden post fences right next to it and these log cabin walls. I think they make for a really great combination. I haven't used this combination before, but I think it works great for a low wall. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next episode. For the rest of this episode, let's just follow one of these trucks throughout the layout. See you later.